Hello everyone, welcome back to another session with me. I am Sanyukta Saxena and this session is on Tangle Mrth and the reticular Pangea, right? We are already down to tiles and this is the tile that we drew in the last session, right? So today again we'll draw a tile together using the same set of tangles and a few more tangles to go along with it, right? So let's get started. So I'm again going to place some dots in the four corners, right? So with a sense of gratitude and appreciation towards the art form, towards the opportunity that it provides us to create a beautiful piece of work in such a simple and easy manner. Yeah. So just join the dot with a free hand with a straightish line. Yeah. And now I'm going to start with probably insert a rough grid here. So I'm going to draw a nice curve here like this, right? And then add another, and then probably draw a double marasu here. So let's see, I'm just drawing it as a string first, right? So going to start with a curve like this, again going to double line it, and then start adding the aura, right? So there are two layers of aura running here. One is the thinner aura and one is the thicker aura, right? So basically we have started with an S shape inside, yeah, and then I'm going to extend both the auras at the same time, right? So we can do that with the pen straight away, but I want to merge it with these two lines, so that's why I'm doing this exercise first with the pencil so that the merging is seamless, right? So you can straight away draw with your pen if you are confident enough. So just drawing a double marasu by Margaret Bremer, CZT, a beautiful version of marasu. So as I mentioned to you, you can draw it right away or you can do it the way I am doing. I am doing this because I want to merge it with this border that is going, yeah, that is coming from this side. So I want to merge it with that, right? And that's why this exercise. So let us complete this. Like this, right? And then we can just, yeah, I think we can, let's see, just going with the flow right now. We'll see how do we merge the two things. Yeah, right. So this is the rough string that I'm going to work on today. Yeah. So let's get started right away. I'm going to start with the Tangle Mrth first, right? So first about this section, going to start with Mrth. So starting randomly, right? First drawing the reticular Pangea. You can draw it of any shape, any size. Go as per your own liking. Yeah, so I'm just going with the flow, whatever space is available, just going by that. Small, big, whatever it is. It's a really fun tangle as well as the reticular. Both are pretty fun to do. Yeah, so again starting with the same steps, right? Again, let us try giving some zen. So I'm just going to add some highlights. Yeah, same exercise, just some highlights. One more, add a little inking at the ends, then turn 90 degrees. Yeah, yeah, so try giving it your own version. Try different things with this tangle. Giving a highlight is just one of the simple things that you can do to the lines. Yeah, again. Yeah, so I'm going to continue like this. Yeah, change the direction of the line. Try giving a highlight if possible. Yeah, so I'm just going to do the same exercise for all. Take your time. So I'm almost finishing here on the last one. Yeah, so kind of a different shape, so just don't have to think much actually how. Just start. You have to follow the same steps no matter how the shape. Yeah, so just don't bother much about how. Whatever spaces are there, just go with that. Yeah, so that's one section. Now what I am going to do is this part, this layer, I'm going to merge it here, right? So as it is, as if it is coming like this, so it will just merge here, right? And another aura visible wherever possible, and then we can extend this, right? And these we can. So now I'm going to start drawing my double marasu, right? So just going to zoom in a little. Yeah, so starting with the first line, So please feel free to, ideally you should be drawing it right away with the pen. Yeah, so there was something working at the back of my mind, so I drew it with the pencil first. But as far as Zentangle is concerned, please avoid that. Continuing to ink my double marasu. I'm going to merge it here. Yeah. So I'll start with the next thinner aura. Yeah. So these are two totally different kind of tangles, right? You can see Mrth is totally line based, and this is a spiral, yet they can coexist if there is an intention, right? So the nature of tangles is pretty different, but still, if there is an intention, anything is possible. Yeah. So I'm just going to, yeah, so it will extend from here like this, and then two lines here, and then two lines here, and then this line will continue right, and then connect these. Yeah. Yeah. So now we have drawn our double marasu. So just the way we do our marasu, I'm but first going to ink this inner space. The smaller aura, I'm just going to pick up my PN. This is burgundy PN. Yes, you can also use your brown pen, anything that is readily available with you, or you can just use your gray brush pen or gray watercolor, whatever you feel like. Yeah, I have it handy here, so I'm going to use my burgundy pen. As I mentioned, this is not my usual workstation, so pardon me for the sound disturbances, for going out of focus. Yeah, sorry for that. Right, so I'm just going to quickly ink the thinner aura throughout. Yeah, so I'm still inking the thinner auras with my burgundy pen. Yeah, so we are done with that exercise. Now it is up to us. We have whole lot of space to tangle. If you want, you can stick to the original marasu, that is, create those sections and ink alternate sections, right, with the highlight or without the highlight. That's one choice you have. Or you can tangle partly and then switch to, the original marasu, right? So let's see how do we want to go about it. So I'm going to first insert these in at least two of the loops, two of the spirals, right? So it starts with marasu, right? So you can see there is a slight curve to the double lines, and preferably they are not falling under each other, right? So that's two things that we generally keep in mind when we are drawing marasu. So I think I will keep it till here, right? And then probably deviate and add some mukas, again the flowy ones, yeah. Take your time and slowly insert some mukas and flux. They look pretty nice together, and we'll see if we want to insert some orbs here and there. Yeah, so one ring I'm going to continue like this, one spiral, right, again. So I'm just reversing the directions and adding some flux at the moment, right? So again reversing the direction. So muka is a one stroke tangle. You don't really need to lift your hands as you draw this tangle, and it is a very versatile tangle. You can use it in many different ways, yeah. So just go with the flow. You can draw as many layers as you want, right? So probably one or two more. So we have completed one spiral with muka and some flux, yeah. So wherever you do see some more space, you can add some orbs right away, yeah. And rest of the space we shall see how do we want to fill it up, yeah. So once we are done with muka, now let us move to the next. So I am now switching to shattuck, yeah. So drawn one set of auras, again change the direction of the lines to draw another set of auras, almost at 90 degrees to the first set. Again rotate your tile, don't move your hand much. Next set of auras, again almost 90 degree to each other, right? Very simple tangle to draw, purely aura based, line based, shattuck. These are all Zentangle originals. By now I think most of you know that I like to work with the original tangles more. Just changing directions, going till the from one end to the other end. Again rotating tile, change the direction of the lines, one end to the other end. Again change the direction of the lines. An excellent example of what simple line work can do, yeah. Just go with the flow, don't bother much about how, yeah. Again going from the other direction. So take your time Enjoy the process, because that is what is important here. The end result is not important because it is always good. You don't really need to worry about it. Zentangle as an art form is very easy and always ends up with great results. So don't worry about how things are going to turn out. Just enjoy the moment, enjoy the strokes, tangle along. Right? So we are done one more layer. So now the last layer, this one probably I'll just add this very small space, so I'll just add some plain lines here like this. Yeah, so the last layer, again this layer we can add some other tangles, so I'll just go with some onomato. Onomato is again orbs, totally orb based tangle. First we are going to draw bigger orbs. Yeah, so it is an excellent border tangle. We have already done these tangles, right? So once we are done with drawing the bigger orbs, then we will be inserting some smaller orbs in between the bigger ones. Right? So one here. So try filling up the small little spaces left in between at the same time, or you can get back to them at a later point. Small little intersectices in between your tangles. This tangle is called onomato, right? It's a beautiful border tangle. Right? So wherever possible, just insert that small orb depending on the spaces that you have. Right? So this small little line is again meant for orbs. So onomato has orbs inside, orbs outside. Yeah. So you can either leave the orbs as they are, right, or you can insert something inside the orbs also, right? So now we have these sections left. Again, you want to add some fragment there, or you want to leave it the way it is, entirely up to you. Or you want to repeat the patterns, not leave it as it is, but repeat the patterns or draw some other tangle, entirely up to you, right? So this, I think one layer will come here as far as onomato is concerned. So I'm just going to insert onomato first. Right? So that's one circle, and now I'm just going to add probably hybrid. So inserting the tangle hybrid. So I had drawn a zigzag V shape and then just adding lines inside it. Again, you can add some printums here. Small little spaces, you can choose tangles of your choice. Yeah, here you can add some fragment probably then last one. So feel free to add tangle of your choice here, and they are just one section. Yeah. So this section I'm just going to add some dotted lines, not going to fill it up completely. So lines with some, probably you can fill the dividers instead, like this. Yeah. And then just add lines with highlights, break the line in between like this. Yeah. Again, fill in the bands that you have drawn, and then add these lines with highlights. Again, fill in the band with the highlight. Again, same exercise. Fill in the band, lines with highlights. So originally in marasu alternate spaces are inked, but this is again a variation. You can go with the original version also. It will look nice anyways. Take your time and slowly fill in each section. Yeah. So about these mukas, wherever there are big spaces, just add some orbs and fill in the leftover space. Like this. Yeah. Again, one orb, two orb, whatever the space available. Yeah, I think we are done. Yeah. So let's move on to shading our tile now. This section can also be inked if you want. We'll add a little more character to your shattuck. Yeah. If you want to add more, you can always add something in the outermost aura of shattuck also, right? So that's one more option. So let us stop here and first shade, and then we shall see if we want to add something else. Yeah. So this section I'm going to again not going into shading individual components of my mirth, but shading the tangle as a whole. So add some thick graphite at the edges. Yeah. On the orbs on one side, a thin line, not too much, just a touch. You don't want the entire orb go gray. Yeah, not really required on these, they are too small. Yeah. And then on the mukas, again a little bit on the pod heads. And then on the shattuck where lines are going under. So you can also choose to not shade each component of your marasu, but shade the marasu as a whole, right? That is adding graphite on both sides. So that is also a possibility. Depends on how do you want to. As I keep mentioning, there is no standard way to shade. It all depends on your mood at that point of time. So let's now blend. So blending the edges, moving it towards the center, but leaving the center white. Yes. Moving on to the orbs, just a slight touch on one side, not too much. Yeah, and then the mukas, again slight blend. Spaces are small, so don't add too much. And then moving on to the shattuck. Right, so we are almost done with our shading also as far as the inside is concerned. So I added some graphite in the inside of the marasu here, right, and we have not blended these, so don't add too much. These sections are pretty small, so just touch at the edges. Yeah, and then I added a little at the inside. That's the way marasu is generally shaded. You add on both sides, right, and whatever is inside gets automatically highlighted, right? So here instead we shaded in a different way. So I'm going to use my chalk pencil now, highlight the spaces where we have not used graphite, and just brush off the excess chalk, and then add that highlight which is generally added in marasu, although we have a highlight already in the black strands, but I'm going to re-emphasize it with my chalk because it looks nice as far as marasu is concerned, and you can do that throughout if you want, or just do it in the center, in the innermost section, whatever you feel like, right? So I'm not going to do it here, instead I'm going to add some graphite on the other side. Little at the edges. Right? So shading is entirely on you. How do you want to go about? And then with a very light hand just blend without spreading too much. Yeah. Yeah, so we have done that, and last but not the least, just pick up your jelly roll and highlight this band with some dots if you wish to, otherwise just leave it like that, right, like this. So the burgundy PN, I'm just using that thinner aura that I added in the double marasu and just adding some dots with my white jelly roll to add that extra zen. Yeah, entirely up to you. You can also add some orbs with your jelly roll if you don't wish to add dots. Try different things. This is just a suggestion. And we are almost done. So I'm done with that exercise. So this is our tile for today. Ability to coexist even though You have two different natures, right? One is a spiral and one is purely line based, yet adaptation and ability to coexist is a big quality. Yeah. So put your chop. Don't forget to sign and date it. Today is 8th of May 22. Take a moment to appreciate your tile, right? And I shall see you again with another new. Till then, have a good time. Bye bye.